was I wrong about this one? Or was I? And they just changed some shit. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here. All right, finally giving you my Rise of Skywalker spoiler review. That's right. Sorry that here it is Monday, like a week after. I mean, we're already 2 weeks into this thing, 2 weekends in. I haven't done it because I wanted to see it again. And I'm glad I did because there's like certain things that I kind of wanted to touch bases about that I forgot about. Because there's so much in this fucking movie. So I saw it again yesterday. My mom wanted to see it, so I took her, and she loved it. And I enjoyed it. Second time, more, I think, because I knew what I was expecting. You know, there's still things that just frustrated shit at me. So I'm just going to go into all the spoilery stuff. I'm not going to just go through the whole entire movie, but hey, let's get it on. Kylo Ren on Mustafar. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but you know, Darth Vader's castle, the lava planet. He's on the planet fucking up these guys in a montage. I mean, if you start a movie with a fucking montage that looked like it was going to be badass and looked like there was way more going on in the scene than actually let on, that just was a taste of things to come. It was kind of frustrating. And even like the second time, I'm like, I want to see this entire scene. You know that there was more here, a lot more here. And then all of a sudden he's down. He goes down on a little platform and you hear Palpatine. And it was kind of cool because you heard Palpatine talk, Snoke talk, and Vader talk. All the voices in your head, which was actually like a setup for something that happens later with Rey. And then we have Palpatine, who looks very creepy, very, you know, it was kind of cool hearing his voice. He's got that distinct voice that will always be branded in our heads to the end of time. Basically saying that he's alive and that, hey, I created Snoke. So, I mean, when I said that I thought Rey was a clone, well, turns out Snoke was a clone, which is kind of lame. I was hoping that Snoke was actually somebody that just kind of something bad, like the dark side of the Force fucked him up or something like that. But no. But then again, it just makes you wonder, because when you watch all three of these, when you put them all and you back up and you go, yeah, there was not a set plan. It does seem like things were set in motion by JJ, and Ryan was like, and then JJ was like, well, and here we are. And he has the final empire, and with the snap of his lightning fingers, he just makes all the Star Destroyers rise up to the sky. That's just always dark and lightning with people on them. It was a little weird, but I mean, it was a cool shot, but I just thought, why the fuck are these people just sitting on these Star Destroyers? Just waiting, and then all of a sudden when you get the word, oh, we're going to rise up to the sky. Whoa, that's a better view. So we find out how powerful Rey is, and that was a pretty cool scene when she was trying to save Chewie from the Knights of Ren that were transporting him, and both her and Kylo Ren were like doing the Force thing that was badass, and then lightning shot out of her fingers. That's pretty much when you realize, okay, she's a fucking Palpatine. Now, yeah, it could have been changed. I mean, I never believed when Kylo Ren in Last Jedi said that they're just a bunch of drunks that sold you for drinking money. I always thought, well, he's just fucking with her. That's not the case. I was just wondering if, like, you know, my whole thing was when she went down into the pit, the hole, and saw all the many versions of her, a lot of herself. I was like, maybe she was a clone from Luke's hand. Come on! Probably would have been better, but obviously it still works that she was a Palpatine. I mean, there were theories out there that she was a Palpatine. I even talked with people like, maybe she was a Palpatine because the way that she would always jab her little staff was pretty much how Palpatine did his whole lightsaber thing, so they had that going for her. Both times I saw it, there's gasps in the theater. So, I mean, as long as there's that, there's nothing wrong with it. But, yeah, that part was like, oh my god, did they just kill Chewie like that? They better not have killed Chewie. I remember looking at my brother going, what in the fuck? And, yeah, so we see how powerful she is. And then, of course, the healing power shows up when they're underground in this, like, little serpent or whatever. It was just a scene just dedicated just for that. I almost think it was just, we got to show that Rey can now heal. And I know a lot of people did not like that, but then somebody else did it in another Star Wars story. And you gonna say no to that little guy? Hux was a spy! That was a good little twist. 2 minutes, done. I mean, it was like, but it was almost like it was a last minute thing. Because it was just, it happened so quick. Like, he was gonna shoot him, and then all of a sudden he shoots the stormtroopers, and he goes, I'm the spy. And then they run out, okay, shoot me in the arm, and then he shoots him in the leg. I don't need you to win. I just need Kylo Ren to lose. And then he gives up a stupid story, he gets shot, and it's all done. It's like, they could have really capitalized on that. They could have really done that, because I like, what's his name, Gleason. I mean, Just that was a cool little thing that everybody was like, oh my god, both times, just gone. And of course they're hinting at Finn being Force sensitive, which a lot of people suspected in Force Awakens, and I think JJ was like, hey, yeah, he might be. Look at him go with a lightsaber. And, they're hinting at it that he was feeling Rey, and he knew that she died, and that he wanted to tell her something. Everybody just assumed that he was like, oh, he was going to confess his love, but it was actually because he wanted to tell that he was Force sensitive. I mean, too bad there wasn't a middle movie where they could have capitalized that instead of writing horsies. Finn's story is where I get disappointed in Rian Johnson for Last Jedi. As much as there's things I really like in Last Jedi, what he did with Finn, it's like he didn't give a fuck about Finn. It's like, okay, we're going to do this whole side story with this Rose character. And it's just, they could have capitalized on that because it was set up in Force Awakens, but it just got thrown away, and he could have had a really cool moment. There could have been something else. It could have been like a trinity of things that happened with Rey, Ben, and Finn. Would have been cool. And of course, he's talking to the girl that they were on that planet where the Death Star was at, the broken up Death Star. They're talking about like, yeah, this is where we showed up. We were ex-stormtroopers. They could have delve deep into that, but no, you gotta go blow up something now. Now, the whole Force talking back and forth, now that was something that JJ capitalized on, because it first started off where Kylo Ren actually grabbed the beads when she was on that desert planet to have it analyzed, so then they knew where they were, and I thought that was pretty cool. I thought they really capitalized on that whole thing, because in Last Jedi, they were just talking. This time, they could actually fight, and they were having a lightsaber fight, and it was going back and forth, but he couldn't see her surroundings until they knocked over the thing that was holding up Vader's helmet, and then all of a sudden he knew. I thought that was really cool, and I had no problems with that. Yeah. Lando Calrissian, it was nice seeing Billy D, but, it just doesn't seem like Billy D was like how he was at one point. Yeah, it just seemed like he was a little like, needed to be there when he needed to be there. I mean, and come on, guys. It seems like every Star Wars now, it always has it where it's like, when they're having the battle at the end and the ships are in the air, the X-Wing fighters and stuff like that, it always seems like, oh, we're outnumbered, we're going to die, just losing hope. And then all of a sudden, there they are. And here comes Lando again, which is not a big surprise. We already knew that he was going to end up flying the Falcon because we saw him in the trailer. But like I said, it was nice to see him again. But then, when he had all the ships, who did they show? Wedge! For 1.2 seconds! That's it! Wedge! Who is an awesome fucking X-Wing fighter in Empire, in Return of the Jedi. Awesome dude. They show him for just a little bit. I freaked out. I was like, that's Wedge. Done. Can't tell me you couldn't have had more things cut to him. All he had was, let's fly Lando or something like that. I'm like, come on, man. It's Wedge. Fucking A, man. Disney Plus should give him an fucking side story spinoff. Not Rose. Leia and Leia's death. Okay, so that was pretty cool because they were fighting, of course, on the Death Star wreckage with all the water. And basically Leia goes, I gotta contact him because he's gonna kill her. He's gonna fucking kill her. And she distracts him with her little Force telepathy thing. And then he gets stabbed and you're like, holy shit. But then she realizes, Rey, that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done that because she felt Leia die. She felt Leia die when that happened, which was, I thought that was done pretty well. This whole scene was done pretty well, so she heals him, which, of course, you knew that was going to come into play. And then when Ben's just there, not knowing, like, what do I do? Then he has a little vision, a little memory of Han Solo, which, well, look at the writer of this, look at the writer of Batman vs. Superman. Parallels to when Clark was going up on the mountain, talked to his dad, miss you. And it was kind of cool because it paralleled what happened in Force Awakens, but of course it ends differently, and now Ben is just like, now he's realizing what his destiny is, and there you go. Rey goes back to the island where Luke was, burns everything, and then she's about to throw the lightsaber into the fire. I know everybody was thinking, oh my god, she's going to do that. What's going to stop her? Of course it's going to be Luke's fucking Force Ghost. I didn't really like this. I didn't really like Luke's Force Ghost scene. I mean, yeah, that part, it just seemed, well, it seemed like he phoned it in, to be honest. But it just was like, yeah, okay. And then, of course, he raises the X-Wing to do a throwback to Empire and everything like that. Another throwback to Empire, too, is when Ben wanted to say I love you to his dad, but he said I know. I didn't catch that the first time, but there it was. I'm like, hey, good job. So now Rey has to face Palpatine, who's hooked up to all these machines, which looks really weird. But there was just a cool, dark setting with all the Siths, I guess, in the stands doing their chant and everything. It was a very dark. I actually really dug what was going on here, and the fact that she had to make a decision and she couldn't strike him dead because then all the Sith, the power of the Sith would go into her, but all the power of the Jedi was going to her. But what was really cool about that is once everything that happened, I mean, it basically, she gave that balance. And, well, that's cool. And I know a lot of people are pissed because, well, wasn't Anakin supposed to be the chosen one? And it's like, well, yeah. We heard his voice in her head along with everybody else, you know. Of course, Obi-Wan, Yoda, I think, was Leia in there. But, I mean, Luke was in there. And, of course, even Windu, Mr. Sam Jackson, most recognizable voice. That was pretty cool. But I thought Ben turning good was just, it just seemed like, oh, my God, I wanted to see more of this. Right? I mean, he's getting there and he jumps and he latches onto that chain thing. And he just flat out goes, ow, like that. And I'm like, wow, this guy's not uptight anymore. I like that. It was really cool too, because then of course a lot of people were shitting on the whole Knights of Ren, which, yeah, they didn't do that much, but it was all just set up for, you know, Ben to just take on his knights. And it was a badass scene, I thought, because he was getting his ass kicked first, and then she does the whole lightsaber thing, and then it's like magic trick, and then he pulls it. But I like what he does. He goes like this. He goes, I'm digging this fucking John Wick Ben here. By the way, Adam Driver and Keanu Reeves should really start a movie together as either brothers, or it could even be father and son with the age difference, because, my God, down to their fucking walk, they're like almost the same person. Well, they don't really sound alike, but you get it. And he just starts fucking them up, and she starts fucking up like Palpatine's dudes and everything. And then there was like the power, the bond that they had was giving Palpatine power, which I thought was cool. And he was shooting up in the sky and causing everything to go ape shit. That was a pretty cool scene. But you know, and then everything like that, I was digging. I was digging all of that. And then, of course, when everything was set to be, Ben gets up first. He knocks him off the thing. Oh, of course, he's not dead. And then Rey just summons that power of like, yeah, I am all the Jedi, and has the two and just fucks him up. He like obliterates. I mean, that was pretty dark too. I thought that was cool. And then it takes all the will, everything that she had to do that. She dies. And that's where, like, you see Finn feel it, and he started going, huh? And then they're like, oh, wait, that motherfucker's force sensitive. Good for you. Ben, of course, climbs back up, heals her with his power. They have the kiss. I'm not a fan of the kiss. They didn't need a kiss, but the kiss. It wasn't a romantic kiss, which I know JJ has been saying. They didn't kiss like they were like, oh my God, I love you kind of thing. It was more like a family thing, even though I've never kissed a fucking family member that long. But it wasn't like, it was just like a, ah. And then he was smiling, Ben was all happy, and then dead. And then he disappeared. It's funny how she didn't disappear right away, but he did, but I guess. But it was kind of cool because at the same time, Leia disappeared too, so it was all cool. And then we get to the very, very end where she goes back to Tatooine. It didn't need to happen. It felt like this was added, like, recently. Okay, and they shot this because, like, hey, remember this? Remember the Tatooine place where Luke was? Now it's dirtier and full of sand. And she just walks around, and then she goes back up to top, and she buries the lightsabers, which was cool. And then somebody just randomly has to be walking by, and she's like, who are you, Rey? Rey who? And then she looks over, and it was cool seeing, you know, Luke and Leia's Force Ghost just right there. They're at peace. I like that. And then she said Rey Skywalker. I just thought it just, I don't know, that didn't feel earned. It just felt like it was like, let's just do this. Somebody punched that up in like a matter of minutes. And it just seemed a little weird. I don't know. I didn't really like that. I thought they could have done something a little bit better in that same regard. But I mean, I don't hate it either. It just, I don't know. It just didn't feel. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much my thoughts about a lot of the stuff. I don't know if I probably missed some things. Oh yeah, C-3PO getting his memory wiped. I mean, they made it seem that was going to be a dramatic scene, but it ends up not being because R2-D2 just has his memory backed up. So no big deal right there. Yeah, Chewie, the time that I cried, and I cried both times. Fucking Chewie, okay? Because I still get choked up when Han dies and he screams when Chewie finds out that Leia died and he does his. It just fucking rips my heart out. It does. It just you know. That was just like that's got me both times, man. That fucking Wookiee. I don't know. I don't know what it is, that Wookiee. But there you go, guys. That's my spoiler review right there. This video is probably long as shit. Sorry it is, but hey, you got to go over a lot of things. It's just noticeable that they didn't really have a full-fledged plan. Maybe JJ was like, okay, I'm gonna set some things up. Okay, and then you guys take the reins, and just take the steering wheel. And then, Rian Johnson wanted to do some different stuff, but incorporate certain stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. It's such a weird thing, but they needed to have a set plan because the other two trilogies, regardless how you feel about them, everything was set up and it flowed nicely. I mean, even the original one that had 3 different directors, of course, it still had George Lucas looking over everything, and then George Lucas, of course, directed the prequels, but it all just flowed nicely. This one is choppy. It really is. As much as, I love Force Awakens, and I don't hate Last Jedi as much as people, and then this movie, I'm not sure where it ranks yet. But, I mean, I'm just saying, it's just, you could see that they just didn't quite have the plan. I thought they surely did, but don't think so. There you go, guys. That's my spoiler review. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. What did you think about all this? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel, filmjunkie.com, for all my content. Follow me on the sock meds over there, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon if you want to help out. And shirts down below. All right, guys?